What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and it's the Philly Toll Podcast, and we are back with another live stream. A short day of Eagles training camp after a walkthrough because a big fight broke out. Yes, shortly after this fight, they put the defense on one side of the field, the offense on the other side of the field, had practice for a little bit, and then said, "We are done." Howie was on the field talking to one of the people who was in this little brawl, and it was the biggest one of camp. Shout out to the real ones in the building. As Cody K, the Philly Joker, said, hit the like. Also, subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell so you know when we go live or drop videos and do YouTube shorts. All that good stuff. Swipe over and hype up the video if you're on mobile, all that stuff. Shout out to the real ones in the building. We're going to shout you out. But let's get to this EJ Smith. Breaking news. We have our first real fight of Eagles training camp. Moro Ojomo swung on Fred Johnson after 2 straight plays. Fred hit Ojomo in the neck late in the first play, and Ojomo took exception and threw not one, but boom, boom, hit him with a 2-piece combo. 2 punches to Fred Johnson. The next play, Johnson blocked Ojomo into the ground, and Ojomo swung on him again. After the play, Fred was shouting at Ojomo for trying to take his knee out. Again, Fred ain't swing back, according to the EJ Smith report. But Ojomo's like, bro, I'm low-key a starter. What you doing over there? What you doing hitting me in the back of the neck and all that extra stuff? Again, football really gets going in September and October, the cool months. We already saw that the Eagles don't do well in Tampa. We're not a team that likes to play in heat. Today wasn't the hottest day of camp, but it's muggy, at least where I'm at, and I'm in the ABE, an hour away from the link and the practice field. So again, we heard a little scuffle between Tyler Steen and Ty Robinson, but it was like a throw you on the ground, that's it. This one was maybe the backup now, because Fred Johnson is losing a little bit of ground to Markel Bell, who continues to get the starting nod for Lane when he's not there, but Lane is back. Paved the Lane is back. But it's interesting. Ojomo swung not once but twice on Fred Johnson, and they eventually separated offense and defense, as EJ Smith quote tweets it and says this: unsurprisingly, they ended practice a little early after the fight. Both sides are going through walkthroughs on separate fields now. So again, it was enough for them to say, you know what? Let's just call it. They've been going for about an hour and some change. Probably was an hour. Don't quote me on that. But they definitely ended it early. It's a little muggy outside. But again, we got the Eagles-Ravens game this Saturday, and then we got joint practice with the Patriots. That's when we should get chippy, is when we're practicing with the Patriots, and we will have clips. For as much as the Eagles try to hide training camp, like you see everybody from the Cowboys to the Giants to the Colts to the Chargers showing their 11 on 11 plays. Eagles always been like that ever since forever. Rightfully so. But we're going to get to see some stuff when we play against the Patriots. But that was the first real training camp fight, Ojomo versus Fred Johnson. But there is a lot to talk about today, including Hollywood Brown continuing to cause interceptions. Shout out to Notification Gang. I'm going to get to y'all in the comment section. Keep commenting. If you see something I missed, we're going to talk about it. I love y'all to death. Flan Man said, Flan Man Band said, Ojomo not playing. He is not playing for sure. But let's talk about camp a little bit. I want to say one thing. Shout out to Ryan Fowler, who takes great notes when he does visit Eagles camp. Let's go over what he said, and then we're going to look at the in particulars because Jalen Hurts did throw another interception. However, again, we're talking about practice. Ryan Fowler first tweets, and he says, last day of pads for the week before Baltimore on Saturday night. We'll have notes throughout this session. Shout out to Ryan Fowler for being real thorough with his notes. First thing that every beat writer talked about, and we got to talk about it a little bit. Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean are not here, but they are out there, but they're not going to practice. Great opportunity for some other defensive backs. And guess who took the opportunity to heart? Mac McWilliams, a guy that Fangio says looks a lot different from his first year. You got to understand, there's rookies who come in and are great right away, but some rookies need 2 years, 3 years. But even the second year, if you need a third year, is way different from the first year because you just understand what the grind is, what it takes, all that stuff. At the end of the day, Mac McWilliams picked off Jalen Hurts. Guess who the intended receiver was? We'll get to it, but it was Hollywood Brown. There's a common theme with all 3 interceptions that Jalen Hurts has thrown thus far in camp. They all were intended for Hollywood. We'll get to that. I see my guy Langsky in here saying Moore over Brown, and we're going to have that conversation real soon. But again, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean didn't practice, but they were out there coaching up the other DBs. And on the practice report, it says soft tissue issue. Again, I think it's just like a managed day for them. They've been going at it all camp. We're probably not. Now, here's the thing. Offense might not play versus Baltimore, but sometimes Fangio gets the defense to play. So maybe they're saving them for that, at least a series or 2. I don't know. But there's nothing to be concerned of via injury-wise for Quinyon and Cooper DeJean. Ryan Fowler also said Markel Bell gets better and better each day. This is the same rookie that Lane Johnson said he's never been around a rookie this good. He's mixing up his sets, hands, just doing a really nice job taking space away and standing guys straight up. He locks out, and the rep ends quickly if you can't get around his initial punch. Hands, space eater, and standing grown men straight up. Now, he a grown man himself. 6'9", that's crazy. But it's good to hear positive things about the rookie who will be replacing Lane Johnson. Ryan Fowler said, perfect example of allowing Saquon Barkley to work downhill quicker in this new run game. He can take away angles, backside in a blink if you aren't disciplined. Just beat Keely Ringo. And yes, Keely Ringo is still around on the squad. But he beat Keely Ringo around the edge after Ringo took a false step inside. Easy 15-plus yard run for Saquon Barkley, and that is music to my ears. Part of the reason the Eagles offense couldn't get going last year was not because of a horrible play caller, the hitch route centric. Actually, it was part of that, but also the run game wasn't there. So now that the run game's back, the health on the offensive line is back, them 15-plus yard runs are demoralizing for a defense. And again, Ryan Fowler could have just said 15-yard run for Saquon Barkley, but he points out how the new scheme gets Barkley downhill quicker and allows him to take away angles backside in a blink of an eye. If you guys, meaning the defense, aren't disciplined. Love it. Another thing Ryan Fowler said was, one thing to appreciate about Drew Makuba, he's always working. You'll see guys hang out after reps or between drills. Seems like he's always finding time to work, footwork, or look at tape, talk to a coach or something. And this is big for, once again, a second-year guy who Fangio told us at the end of last season before he got hurt that he don't look like a rookie no more. Drew Makuba literally turned into a second-year man in Vic Fangio's eyes during his rookie season. Unfortunately, he got hurt, but now you see the little things adding up. Never taking plays off, always trying to find something to do. Ryan Fowler straight up said Dontavian Wicks is wide receiver 2. He's been outstanding again today. He had high praise for Darius Cooper when he was doing his thing, but Ryan Fowler believes Dontavian Wicks is wide receiver 2. We're going to get to the actual play. Dontavian Wicks did score a touchdown, I believe. But let's talk about these Ryan Fowler updates. Markel Bell just took Zach Bond for a ride about 6 yards down the field on an outside zone play. Bond tried everything to work off the block, but Bell just drove him upfield. Excellent rep. That is some high praise. Now, here's the 11 on 11 notes from Ryan Fowler. It's still eye-opening how easy Nolan Smith sets the edge at 240. Multiple wins against Jordan Mailata in the run period. And that's something that goes overlooked in Nolan Smith's game. He's only 240. He got the speed of an elite pass rusher, and he can be an elite pass rusher, but he's a great run stopper, and that is so underrated in today's game. He said, love the competitiveness of Mac McWilliams at the line of scrimmage. Not the biggest guy, but he isn't afraid to mix it up inside a phone booth and press man. He ain't afraid to get up, put hands on you with inside 5 yards. Once again, great day for Markel Bell. He's going to be a piece for the long haul. His technique is coming along day by day. Wicks is so sudden in and out of his breaks. Multiple catches today, including a touchdown versus Reek Woolen in the low red zone. But the way he tempos and uses his head fakes / angles to create space is fun to watch. Again, what is one thing that we talked about via Dontavian Wicks before he suited up as an Eagle? He's a legit route runner. You look at what he did in Green Bay was run the heck out of routes. And it's continuing with the Eagles. Again, listen to how he's talking about him. Wicks is so sudden in and out of his breaks. Multiple catches today, including the tub versus Reek Woolen in the red zone. But the way he tempos and uses head fakes / angles to create space is fun to watch. Back to the defense. Byron Young flashed today. Powerful but fluid / explosiveness that can play the 1 and the 3. Underrated up front. That's another thing. Almost all our D tackles can play so many different styles or different spots on the line. You're going to see Fangio use the 5-man front. You're going to see Fangio use the 5-man front, and it's going to incorporate 3 defensive tackles and 2 edge rushers. Lastly, in Ryan Fowler's 11 on 11 notes, Drew Makuba is smooth in space, never seems out of control. His ability to play from different depths, especially in the run alley, is fun to watch. And although Drew Makuba is having a great camp, right? Today he got beat by Dallas Goedert in a sense where he didn't get beat. He was right there. You couldn't have played Goedert any better. But Jalen Hurts put the ball only where Dallas Goedert could get it. And because of that, it was bang, bang, boom, boom. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Love the insight from Ryan Fowler when he is at the Eagles camp. Real quick, for anybody just getting in here, do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification. The likes really bring more people in here. I'm going to get to the EJ Smith report for the people who want to hear about the fight that low-key ended practice. It literally ended practice. And then we're going to talk a little bit about Hollywood Brown. Again, we have our first real fight of Eagles training camp. Ajomo swung on Fred Johnson after 2 straight plays. Fred hit Ajomo in the neck late in the first play. Ajomo took exception to that and threw 2 punches at him. Next play, Johnson blocked Ajomo into the ground and Ajomo swung on him again. So a 2-piece. The next play, a 1-piece. After that play, Fred was shouting at Ajomo for trying to take his knees out. And then again, EJ Smith said, unsurprisingly, they ended practice a little early after the fight. Both sides are going through walkthrough on separate fields now. And it's okay to have it. I guarantee you these guys cool down. They're in the locker room. They dap it up. It's football. The animal comes out of you. It's understandable. My 11-year-old son gets in little skirmishes with his team. Daps it up. They're playing Fortnite when they get home. You know what I'm saying? It's all love at the end of the day. As for Devontae Smith and Mekhi Lemon, shout out to Vera Jones for the comment. They're both looking to get better. They're both looking better. Let's actually go find it. I think John Clark had the one where let's see. Mekhi Lemon. You can clearly see him. Olivia Reiner shows he's on a jug machine. He got the helmet on. He's on the jug machine. He was also spotted catching passes in the end zone. Not really running routes. A little jog in the back of the end zone catch. Jog in the back of the end zone catch. Smitty looks like he's a little bit more ahead in terms of how that hamstring is feeling, because Smitty is out there running routes with no gear on, though, but running routes on ice with his trainer. It looks like Mekhi Lemon and Devontae Smith are getting close, but the Eagles will be cautious with hamstring injuries, and rightfully so. Let's see. There was one other thing I wanted to talk about. Oh, the interception. So EJ Smith got this clip. Let's go ahead and make sure it's not playing loud. All right. We can't hear it, right? All right, no, we can't. Jalen Hurts is working after practice with Hollywood Brown on the route that resulted in an interception earlier today. Hurts has been picked off targeting Brown in consecutive practices now. So again, practice is over, but Jalen Hurts is like, bro, Hollywood, you need to keep your ass back here. I need to see you after practice, my guy. That's not one day. It's not one or two. It's 2 consecutive days, but all 3 camp interceptions from Jalen Hurts were when he was targeting Hollywood Brown. So I like how Jalen Hurts said, look, bro, we going to work on it. We going to work on it. Simple and plain. And it's just really a little speed out. This one's a speed out. The other one was a speed in. So when Quinyon intercepted him, he was on the opposite side of Jalen Hurts and did a little in route, a deep dig route. Maybe his depth is too much, but both interceptions, when Jalen Hurts was targeting him, the corner or DB was able to undercut him. Quinyon undercut him with a diving interception that went viral on Twitter. 15 million people saw it. Meanwhile, Josh Allen's interception on Twitter hasn't even reached 500K. Sorry, I'm a little blurry. Let my camera get fixed. I don't know what's going on. At the end of the day, Josh Allen's didn't even reach 500K. Jalen Hurts is at 15 million. And it's only when he targets Hollywood Brown thus far in camp. Can we get this to stop being blurry? Sometimes it will just snap back, but it's taking longer than normal to snap back. Again, a shorter practice. Here's Willie Lampkins working with Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce was never a big offensive lineman either. So it's good to see him working. Let me see. Why is my camera taking too long to come back on? Or to not be blurry? That's crazy. Let me see. Joe M said they aren't canceling. They ain't canceling the joint practice. In my opinion, they are very important. Very important. They are, and they definitely won't cancel them. But let's go to the Brandon Lee Gowton. I think had something I wanted to talk about. Oh, he's talking about the fighting as well. Sheesh. It ended practice. Tavian Wicks routed up Reek Woolen to get open for a touchdown. Where's the Dallas Goddard touchdown? Here it is. Jalen Hurts ripped the ball over the middle to Dallas Goddard in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. Good strike. Andrew Makuba beat on the play. See, everybody talks about it just a little differently in the sense of a lot of people said it was great coverage by Makuba, just a perfect ball. At the end of the day, joint practices to most NFL teams in today's world is more important than preseason games. Because in the preseason, you know, most likely you're only seeing the other teams 2, 3s, and 4s. Even if you play your starters, you're going against 2, 3s, and 4s. In joint practice, there's periods where you do go against the ones and you can simulate whatever you want. I want to see your defense versus my offense in the red zone. In the preseason, you might never get in the red zone with the ones or whatever. So all organizations look at joint practices different, way more important than preseason games. 5R Walker said Willie Lampkin can bring some well-needed physicality to the team. I agree. And it's definitely a little different when he gets in the field, when he gets in the game compared to anybody else, just due to the size, the leverage. But he's a dog. Don't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But I do like the fact that Hollywood Brown, who's now been charged with all 3 of Jalen Hurts' interceptions, at least stayed after practice with Hurts to say, yo, you know what? Let's get that working. You right. Let's get that working. My bad. I'm making you look bad out here. I'm letting cornerbacks, I'm letting second-year cornerbacks named Mac McWilliams undercut me. Let me help you get your get back real quick. Now, before we continue, let's hear a word from our sponsor, Prize Picks, which is America's #1 sports picks app. And it's so simple. Just pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineups. That's it. However, maybe you rather pick the team that wins instead of player stats, which is now on Prize Picks. Spreads, totals, pick'ems, whether it's a game or a fight. And best of all, Prize Picks got a new user offer that is really going to benefit you. Now, just play $5 and get $150 in lineups. If you win, you got to use code HMA when signing up to once again play $5. If you win, you'll get $150 in lineups. Sheesh. Link is in the description. Here's the clip of Mekhi Lemon catching end zone touchdowns. End zone touchdowns again. He don't got his gear on. He's not ready to be back with pads playing. But you can see Mekhi Lemon and Devontae Smith are getting closer and closer and closer. Again, with the way that Smitty's running routes on ice with trainers, I think he's closer. But we need Mekhi Lemon to get these reps. I'm 100% okay with Devontae Smith just showing up in September. Still good for him to get some reps, but we know who Smitty is. And we know what Mekhi Lemon could be, but he needs to get the reps with Jalen Hurts. If Hollywood Brown's interceptions don't speak loud to you, then I don't know what it is. But Hollywood Brown and Jalen Hurts' chemistry is off. That's why the interceptions are happening only to him. And pretty much the same way. Every time he throws an in breaker or out breaker to him, he allows the DB to undercut it. Mekhi Lemons is going to be a more physical kind of wide receiver than Hollywood. He's your speedster. Maybe he can't be running them in and out breaking routes. I don't know. But Dontavian Wicks is looking like he's going to be wide receiver too early. But don't sleep on Mekhi Lemon throughout the season to slowly creep up and get something. Yes, I am trying to say routes on air. I don't know why I'm saying routes on ice. So Smitty out there running routes on air. My bad. Shout out to you. K, you're a bus. Wait, what? K, you're Kai, you're a bus. I don't even know. I can't read today either. Ryan said, of course, that's easily doubled by the time y'all pay all the fees. I'm not exactly sure what y'all talking about. Joe said Willie is a tank. He is. A small but powerful tank. Small in the sense of his height, his stature at 5'11". Remember, we will be live for the Ravens and Eagles Saturday, a little bit before and during. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let me just pull this up, and we're going to talk a little bit about camp. A moving moment. Let's see what EJ Smith said. A moving moment during Darius Cooper's media session. His mother, Veronica, and wife watch his presser, and at least by my count, have made it to almost every practice. Got the support of a strong family. Strong family. And look, here it is. Howie Roseman talking to Ajomo after practice today. Howie Roseman made it a point to talk to Ajomo and Fred Johnson. Ajomo and Fred Johnson. Because that's who had to fight. First real fight at camp. Fred Johnson hits Ajomo in the back of the neck on the play. Ajomo two pieces him. Boop, boop. Next play, Fred Johnson blocks him into the ground. Ajomo one pieces him. Boop. Fred's yelling at him. He's yelling at Fred. Shortly after, all right, practice is over. Defense over there, offense over there. And Howie went to both Ajomo and Fred and said, yo, you saw us all good? But Howie also probably said, yo, that was a nice-ass two-piece combo, my boy. I'm just kidding. Mizzy said, I'll be at the game Saturday. Shout out to Mizzy. Hopefully you enjoy the game. You're probably going to see some ones on the defensive side. I don't know about the offensive side. But again, there's a lot to be excited about in terms of the Eagles' depth. Let's take a good look at Markel Bell, Drew Kendall, Willie Lampkin. That's just on the offensive line. Let's keep looking at defensive tackle, the defensive tackle room. Ty Robinson in year 2. Uwar Bernard. Let's look at AJ Epinesa, Arnold Ebiketie if they play. Joshua Wurar, the defensive rugby player we got. Jeremiah Trotter might get some snaps. If not, I want to see Smile Munden, who was one of Jordan Davis's sleepers. Then you go back in the secondary, Mac McWilliams, who got the start today without Quinion and Coop in attendance. And what did Mac McWilliams do? Undercut Hollywood Brown and get that INT. Let's look at the depth at safety behind Marcus Epps and Michael Carter. I'm ready. Tiffany said Big Dom had to get on the field to separate the two, Ajomo and Fred Johnson. But again, I don't look at it as like, oh my goodness. Bro, it's still August. It's muggy. They're chippy. It's football. They be all right. Avatar Apex said, hey, Philly Mike, do you think Trotter Jr. will be a starter next year alongside of Campbell? Remember, how he restructures Bond's contract, and Trot is going to get limited playing time to see what he can do. Listen, first of all, I think Jeremiah Trotter is a player. And I do think Jahad Campbell is a player. I think we got two solid linebackers that are under the age of 25. In a perfect world, we could continue to run with Zach Bond because he's a older linebacker, but he's not the same age as anybody his age. What is he, like 28, 29? But for the first 4 years, he was a backup / special teamer, an in-betweener. Zach Bond has a lot of tread on it. But yeah, in a perfect world, Trotter and Campbell become our starters in the future. This year, you're going to see a lot of Zach Bond and Trotter packages and Zach Bond and Campbell packages. For as much as everybody wants to find out who's the definitive starter next to Zach Bond, I think Fangio's going to play that game and rotate and utilize. What does this team on offense like to attack? Okay, Jahad Campbell can handle that better. What does this team like to attack? Okay, Trotter can handle that better. If Trotter goes down, Campbell's in. If Campbell goes down, Trotter's in. It's a good situation we got at linebacker, which for a whole decade, we couldn't say that. After the 2017 Super Bowl season where we had Nigel Bradham, I think it is, we were longing for a linebacker. Then we drafted Nakobe Dean. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. traded for Zach Bond. Remember, Howie only wanted Zach Bond to be a pass rush specialist, a tweener. Fangio said, no, I watched the tape. I can't believe the Saints weren't using this guy. Sheesh. But for your answer, Avatar Apex, I could clearly see that. There's a world where in a few years, we let Zach Bond move on because of what we have behind him. Vera Jones said, I thought Diggs went to the Commanders. He did. Watching the Commanders sign Stephon Diggs, he's all right. Nothing crazy, nothing to be scared of. But he's a little something. Not said, I'm so excited to see how he looks. So many new people, and the offense has a lot to get comfortable with. Big facts. Look, this was huge to me. Like, more than anybody else talking about how different the offense is, right? Whether it's Sean Mannion talking about the difference or even players. When Fangio came out and defended Jalen Hurts, said the man looks quicker, he looks faster, he's having a great camp. And this is really the first year he's learning a totally different offense. He straight up said that, yes, he had different coordinators from Brian Johnson to Kellen Moore to Shane Steichen, but there was a lot of similarities in the playbook and the offense. This one is for real different, and he's having a great camp. This is Howie Roseman talking to Ajomo because of fighting. Ajomo really was not playing around today. Ajomo was not playing around today. I'm gonna leave this up so you can see, for the people coming in saying who fighting? Who fighting? Ding ding ding. Round one. I'm gonna read it one more time. Shout out to the real people in here who's been rocking with me for 33 minutes. Hit the like button. Everybody who hits the like helps bring more people to the channel, to the show, and all that good stuff. EJ Smith said, we have our first real fight of Eagles training camp. Mora Ajomo swung on Fred Johnson after 2 straight plays. Fred hit Ajomo in the neck late in the first play, and Ajomo took exception and threw 2 punches. Next play, Johnson blocked Ajomo to the ground, and Ajomo swung on him again. After the play, Fred was shouting at Ajomo for trying to take his knees out. EJ Smith later said that practice was ended shortly after, And before practice was ended, which was shortly after, they put the offense on one field, defense on one field, and they ended the practice with a walkthrough. So the Eagles nipped it in the bud, and they're not going to be having it every practice, but these are grown men, and like that happens. Shout out to the first super chat of the day, the only one of the day so far, Robert Dredden 5474 with a $10 super chat. What's good, Philly Mike? Can't wait for the Eagles 26th season. Also, breaking news, the Dallas Cowboys have officially been eliminated from playoff contention both this year and next. Go Birds. It's not a Robert Dreaded comment if he ain't hyping up the Eagles for the right reasons and poo-pooing on the Cowboys' name for also the right reasons. Now, granted, the Cowboys are one of them training camps, whether they're doing joint practice or practicing at their own home practice field, they show all their training camp highlights, bro. You can see CD going against Caleb Downs. You can see it. And they show their plays. Now, they're vanilla plays. Now, sometimes I wish the Eagles would show us, but then I understand you want to keep everything secretive. But it's just, I want to see. All that being said, Cowboy fans are running with this. Oh, my God, do you see how our defense has been looking? The Rams are supposed to be a legit team. Now, Myles Garrett wasn't there their first joint practice with the Cowboys, but their defense got 3 interceptions and 1 joint practice. Now, that's good. If the Eagles got it, I would have been celebrating too. But there's a reason I would have been celebrating, because we already know what the Eagles defense is, and then they show you. You got to see more. But that's what Cowboy fans do. They could come out week 1, and their defense can look pretty good, and they will swear they're going to the Super Bowl just to come out week 2, 3, and 4 and lose 3 in a row. And I can't wait for that to happen. But they're talking about Christian Parker is the next best thing, like he's Fangio, like he's literally Fangio. And it's okay. This is the hype season for a lot of teams. For the Eagles, it's the least of the season that we're going to be hype. We don't get the same training camp highlights, because our highlights we're going to see in the season when we are a contender, when we do win our division for a 3rd year straight. See, EJ Smith saying who fought a Jomo and Fred Johnson, 3 punches from a Jomo. That would have been recorded if it was Cowboys camp. They already got some fights recorded. But I like that. It is August, and Robert Dredden is confident enough to say that the Cowboys have been eliminated from the playoffs. That is something we all have been used to saying. And even if they make the playoffs, it ain't but a week into the playoffs until they're eliminated. Shout out to my guy, Broad Street Bullies. Caleb Down will be a problem. He is. I thought he was a good player. I gave them a good draft grade. I think they had a good draft. But I still think they need more on defense. And again, shout out to the 3-pick joint practice. That's another thing I wish the Eagles had. There's some teams that had a joint practice already. I understand that the Eagles still need to install and learn the playbook. So since it's such a new playbook, they only going to have 2. But there's some teams that have 4 joint practices, 3 joint practices. We got 2, I believe, with the Patriots, and I want to say the Browns. Correct me if I'm wrong. Ethan said, Mike, which primetime game are you most excited for? I'm so psyched for Eagles Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Yes, food, family, football. That's how my Thanksgivings go. And when the football is the Eagles versus the Cowboys, oh, sign me up. Gotta win that. Gotta win that. Gotta win that. Or I will lose my appetite. T.Y. Child of the Most High said, trust in the Lord, Jesus. I agree with you, Brody. But the Cowboys are going to need a little bit more than that to get to the playoffs. But no, I'm a big believer. Broad Street Bully said if injuries happen along the offensive line, we will miss the playoffs. We're expecting playoffs automatically. Well, we had injuries last year on the offensive line, and we made the playoffs. I don't see a scenario in which the Eagles don't make the playoffs. Mulata went down at times. Lane missed multiple games. Landon, Juergens, and we made the playoffs. Now we got beat, but I think we're deeper. Drew Kendall has taken a step. Markel Bell is the best rookie Lane has ever seen or been around. Willie Lampkins is showing why he could play center or guard. We're deeper on the line. I don't want to be injured, but we're deeper on the line. If training camp taught me one thing through these, first 11 days, is the O-line is deeper than we think. The D-line is going to be better than we ever seen especially when Grenard gets back. This defense is ready to go win games for you now, even with the offense a little running behind, which, again, the offense was going toe-to-toe for multiple practices prior to the little hiccups with the Hollywood Brown interceptions. I don't know, man. Broad Street, I hear you. I want to be I want to be healthy. I want to be healthy. And I'm not saying that I wasn't mad when Christian Parker left. I thought he was a great defensive back coach, and he had the potential to be a good DC. But again, the Cowboys, the definition of a Cowboy fan is jumping the gun. And again, I've seen some talented Cowboy teams just fall by the wayside. So I'm more of a show me than tell me type of guy. And until they show me something, I just got to see it. And we'll be seeing it soon. We got the first preseason game for the Eagles and multiple teams coming up. September is around the corner. Now, before we continue, one more time, shout out to everybody in the chat. Please hit the like button. It brings more people in here. We're going to talk a little bit more nitty gritty of Eagles training camp. And I got to ask y'all a couple things to check the temperature through your eyes. Let's hear another word from our sponsor. For all the parents out there with teenagers, we already know you're trying to keep a million different things under control. Cash App is here to make sure your teen's money and their spending isn't adding to the craziness. With the Cash App card available to teens 13 to 17 with sponsorship by an eligible parent or guardian, every transaction triggers a real-time notification for you to see, empowering your teen to practice independence while giving you a peace of mind by keeping track of their spending. You can also manage everything directly from your own Cash App account, so you don't got to switch between the two, making it simple to keep track of your teen's financial activity in a beneficial way for both of you. And with Cash App, there are no monthly fees, no minimum balance requirements, and no hidden charges when sending or receiving money with the Cash App card. You and your teen's balance receive 24/7 fraud monitoring, and if the card ever gets lost, you have the ability to lock their card right from your phone in just one tap. Parents, it's time to start focusing on your teen's financial learning and growth instead of stressing out about the fine print. If you're ready to give your teen more independence while staying in the loop, start by downloading Cash App and sponsoring their account today. New Cash App customers can earn $10 if they use the code FAMILY10 in their profile at sign up and send $5 to a friend within 14 days. Terms apply. Cash App is a financial service platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Cash App Visa Debit Flex cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC, and the Bancorp Bank N.A. pursuant to a license from Visa USA Inc. See terms and conditions for the Sutton prepaid card, Sutton Debit Flex card, and Bancorp Debit Flex card. Savings provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit Cash App/legal/podcast for full disclosure. Link in the description. Shout out to the sponsor of today's channel. Let's just take a look at this real quick. Again, we've been live for 45 minutes, talked a little training camp, talked a lot of things. And actually, what I wanted to ask you, I'm going to get to after this. But when it really matters, and again, this is a new system, we're going to see what happens. But when it really matters, winning comes first. It has to. And when you look at the best quarterback win percentage since 2021, if you go all the way back to Jalen Hurts' first year with Jalen Reagor as a receiver, stop saying A.J. Brown did everything. Yes, he made his team Super Bowl caliber, but we did for him as much as he did for us, if not more. We made him the All-Pro, but we're not going to get to that. But again, 718 for Hurts, 714 Allen, 713 Patrick, 706 Bo Nix. And again, Bo Nix just got here. So it's easier because his sample size is smaller. No, minimum 30 starts. But again, winning matters. Winning matters. For sure. Shout out to my guy, Brian Weeks, with the second super chat of the day. Do you think we'll see more 5 wide sets to expose defenses this year? Go Birds. I don't know. Well, yes, we'll see more because we really didn't do that at all last year. So we'll see more. I don't know if it's going to be common, but we'll definitely see more of it. Which actually leads me to my next question. Like, where do you see, okay, week 1, who's on the roster at wide receiver and where are they going to be ranking? Wide receiver 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do we keep 5? Do we keep 6? Give me your 1 through 5, 1 through 6. I would think along the lines of, I don't think we'll ever go fully 5 wide. Yeah, we will actually. Yes. You will see some 5 wide sets, but I also think you'll see some 4 wide receiver sets and Goddard not lined up in line like a tight end, but also out there as a wide receiver. Let's not act like Dallas Goedert can't run up the seam or run a drag route pretty darn good. And he's a safety blanket for Hurts. So I'm looking at it like we will see 5 wide receiver sets in this offense. But more importantly, the motion, the creativity, like I said, one of the leaked plays from Clay Harbert showed Dontavius Wicks in the backfield. Think about all the people that bring wide receivers out of the backfield. JSN came out of the backfield a couple times, caught a couple big plays. We've seen that from Debo and the Niners. We've seen that from Puka and the Rams. The offenses that have a great coordinator that are creative. We've say what we want about the Cowboys. They got a good offense, and they bring CD from the backfield sometimes. Being able to do that with Smitty and Wicks is going to be crazy. Even Lemon, when he gets back, the way he runs similar to a running back. But I feel like you're only going to see the 5 wides when we're in shotgun. And again, I want everybody to understand that we will run a lot more under center. We might be under center on a record-setting pace, but we still will see shotgun. And you're not going 5 wide under center. So the 5 wide would be when we do switch it up. You just hit him with 4 under center plays. Now we do a no huddle, hurry up offense with a minimum substitute, and you're coming shotgun 4 wide, 5 wide. Back under center, shotgun, but still in heavy personnel, 12 man. Should be interesting. But spreading the field, exposing defenses in terms of creating mismatches are actually going to be a part of this Eagles offense, which is a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. I see the Niners fan up in here talking his talk. Man, get the Niners up out of here. Yeah, Brock Purdy's on that winning list. That's cool. But the reason y'all still not on our side on our level is because you just don't got the defense like us. Your defense is good. It'll be healthy this year too, so maybe you'll be better. But bro, y'all just signed Eli Apple. The 49ers just signed Eli Apple. Devontae Smith has a thing on Twitter. Let me shout out my boy Laz. Laz said something, and it's funny because it's true. Now he be talking a lot. He one of them trolls in a good way, talking about other teams. But Laz said something yesterday, or he tweeted something yesterday, and it just reminded me. Well, he literally reminded me. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Dang. How did I not see it already? I'm way past. Anyways, the Niners signed Eli Apple, and my man put the Devontae Smith tweet. Oh, here it is. So 20 hours ago, my sports update said, breaking news. Well, he didn't say breaking news because it really ain't breaking news. The 49ers have signed cornerback Eli Apple. They better hope it's not the play snaps in football, especially against the Eagles, because we got this back in 2018, 7 years ago, when Eli Apple was younger and a fringe starter. Smitty was still in college. He was in college. Watching the NFL saying, every time I see Eli Apple one-on-one, I shake my head. Every time I see Eli Apple one-on-one, I shake my head. He will love for you to actually give him some snaps in a game where he's playing. I dare you to line him up across the Slim Reaper. You gotta love that. Gotta love it. Mekhi Rager. Tell me you don't watch college football without telling me you don't watch college football. You guys signed Eli Apple, who couldn't play 7 years ago, let alone today. Lordy. Eli Apple. Shout out to everybody in the chat. So go ahead. I want to get that list from y'all. I think to start the regular season, it's going to be Smitty number 1, Wicks 2, Lemon 3, Cooper 4, Elijah Moore 5, and then it's like, is it Johnny Wilson? Is it Hollywood? I think Elijah Moore is going to make the roster before Hollywood. Elijah Moore has been stepping up little by little too. Elijah Moore could definitely beat up on Eli Apple. Britton Covey will beat up on Eli Apple. They need to sign a priest to pray for the players' health. A little prayer can go a long way. Tiffany said white Kelly Greens. Oh, yeah. They definitely hinted that the white Kelly Greens might actually be here as early as this year. Let's go ahead and look at that. So the Eagles posted this little for fun thing, blah, 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 blah. This. The little challenge, that they do on YouTube Shorts, TikTok Shorts. You got to match it. But look, there's a reason why they got the Kelly green white. Like, these are all helmets that we use, minus the white one. That Kelly green white might be actually coming. Sign me up. Now, of course, we're not going to wear it all the time. We're going to wear it sparingly. And shout out to Reek Woolen for winning this little challenge. But man, I can't wait to see them white Kellys. Ryan said, I just block trolls so I don't have to see their stupidity. I hear you, bro. I hear you. Sometimes it's fun to indulge, though. It is. It is. I ain't gonna cap. I ain't gonna cap. And nobody owes you an answer. White Kelly green gonna be lit. Facts. Look at the jerseys, though. Hold on. Cooper DeJohn. I think that's who it is. Look at the jerseys, though. Shout out to Cooper DeJohn on Twitter. Look at the jerseys, though. He just shared them the other day. Oh. Imagine that white helmet with these jerseys. Sheesh. We're going to have to do a giveaway soon. 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 Sheesh. You already know. The real ones know. I love it. I'm a big fan of the white jerseys regardless. But the white with the Kelly green, that's clean. If we did rock these this season, who would you like to rock them against? Would you like to rock them against a division rival like the Cowboys, Commanders, Giants? Would you want to rock them against an NFC East top dog like the Rams? We play the Rams for sure. I don't know if we play the Lions. Who would y'all like to rock these against? Blue said, LOL, isn't the 49ers on the verge of canceling their second joint practice within the past 2 years because of the 20-plus injuries? Yeah. And again, if I'm going to keep it 100, the Niners got a talented team when healthy, but that's been they can't stay healthy. And until they prove it, we going to treat them like the Cowboys. Believe it when I see it. Ryan said, what was your first jersey purchase ever, Mike? Mine was Trent Cole. Woo! That 58 with the name Cole on it was lovely with the red eyes. Yeah, my very, very, very first purchase. Are you talking about the first jersey I got? Like, cause my mom bought me like when I'm little, or like my first purchase, like I bought it. I was doing a little paper route at 12, 13. I was making money at 12, 13, a little paper route. But the very first Eagles jersey I bought was around 12 years old or 13 that I purchased with my own money. Not Christmas money or I don't know. I don't know how I got the money. And it was, drum roll please, McNabb. It was Donovan McNabb. I was a big 5 fan. But I have McNabb's jersey. I have Westbrook's jersey. I have Dawkins' jersey. I never had a Trent Cole jersey. But my oldest player's jersey would probably be, dang, it really might be McNabb. Mind you, I was born 91. I got pictures of me 93, 94, 95 in Eagles gear, but you're not really watching football at 5, 6, 7. You just say you're an Eagle fan, but by the year 98, 99, that's when I started paying attention, and it was McNabb era for me. I'm 35. I got a black Westbrook. I got a Westbrook too. I got a lot of them, and then I got the Deshaun Jackson, of course, Jeremy Mack, and I got a collection. But yeah, everybody dropped their first Eagle jersey in the chat. I'm curious. Randall Cunningham was a reason Tiffany became an Eagle fan. I love it. So yeah, drop the first jersey you ever purchase. That also kind of lets us know what era what age group you are type. Oh, now you could be a little older, but never got a jersey to a later edition. Angela said, Mike, are you still working or videos and streams full time now? We haven't been able to watch for a while. My husband had a massive stroke in October and is bedridden now. Well, prayers in the chat for your family, your husband, and hope everything works. But yes, of course, I don't just do this. This is not full time. But we try to drop videos pretty much daily. Sometimes on a weekend, we don't hit nothing. But Monday through Friday, we do videos. I've been slacking on the live streams. We're going to get back to doing that too. But it's in the season, I make time. In the summer, it's a little hard. But we are going to be back to videos or live streams every single day. There will not be a day that Philly Mike didn't at least do a video or a live stream. There'll be days I do both with a short. And we will stream every Eagles game. And I got big plans for these streams. But prayers in the chat for your family, and hopefully your husband's good. I was watching hockey at 5, 6, 7 years old. That's tough. Mark said Bill Bergery, 66. Mark's been watching for a while. Cubano said Westbrook, first jersey. Jinx Wolf said that Michael Vick, first Eagles jersey. Lou L said Dawkins. Can never go mad with a Dawkins jersey. One of my favorite defensive players of all time. Gelos and McNabb also had a game worn Kelly Gregg. Random. Okay. Owens, black jersey. Trotter. Big Papa Trotter. The real 54. The first 54. I like it. Moneybag said Deuce. That Deuce. Which one? Deuce Staley. I like that. Deuce Staley. I remember I used to call Asante Samuels, though, Deuce because he had the 22. Yes, I had a Dawkins jersey. I think I have two of them, white and green. Angela said Dawkins. My first was probably Ronnie Pete. Okay. RB said McNabb jersey number was my last name stitched in. Okay, a little different. Ricky Waters says Moneybag. The first one you purchased, McCoy. Okay, that 2-6. Blue was McNabb. My first was McNabb. The first jersey I bought, throwback Kelly Green Cunningham. I ain't mad at that. If I missed any, my bad. I see a lot of prayers in the chat for Angela and her family, and that goes a long way. Peter Riley said my first jersey was a Brian Dawkins jersey. Respect. Anybody who had Westbrook, Dawkins, McNabb, they gotta be around my age. A little younger, a little older. Around there though. Sounds right. Trotter and Dhani Jones. Yes, I remember some Dhani Jones. Silverback said Keith Jackson. Joseph, may Jesus hear and hear y'all who need it. God bless. You already know. Jinx Wolf said my first jersey ever that my mom bought was Vic. My first jersey I bought was Jason Kelsey. Okay. Vic was the gift and Kelsey was the first real purchase. Todd said McNabb, black. I think I got 2 McNabb jerseys too. Troy Vincent. Get some secondary in here. I like it. Vera Jones says I don't have any jerseys. Oh no, we got to get Vera Jones the first jersey ever. It got to be a Jalen Hurts now. It gotta be a Jalen Hurts now. But for the person who just got up in here, do me a favor and hit the like button. And after you hit the like button, I'll tell you what the fight was about real quick. According to EJ Smith, this fight made practice end early. Ajomo swung on Fred Johnson after 2 straight plays. Fred hit Ajomo in the neck late in the first play. Ajomo took exception to it and threw 2 punches. Next play, Johnson blocked Ajomo into the ground, and Ajomo swung on him again. After the play, Fred was shouting at Ajomo for trying to take out his knees. So Ajomo, bang, bang, off the one play because he hit him in the neck. Then he throws him to the ground next play, bang. A little later, practices ended. But before practices ended, they split him up on different sides of the field. Gilo said, I need that Lane Johnson jersey now. Yes, get him while he's still here. Prices shouldn't go up much when he early retires, but once he gets into the Hall of Fame, get him while he's here. Lane Johnson. There's so many great Eagles throughout the years. I wish I had more. But yeah. Sheldon Brown. Okay, shout out to Sheldon Brown. Opposite side of Lito Shepherd. Joe said my first one was Jerome Brown. I definitely watched his highlights, but I was a little early for me as every Sunday watcher. Brawl said I have more Flyer stuff when I was younger. Hockey was family's love besides the Ohio State Buckeyes. Respect. The Big Ten rapper said first purchase was a Vic split Philly Atlanta jersey. Okay. You know, that was probably got him right after he got out of lockup. You know what I mean? Vic was an animal on the ground. And dude, he was great early in Atlanta and with the Eagles. More polished passer with the Eagles, though. Eddie Peters said, I was pissed when we took BG back in the day, but I had to grab one for the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Yes, a lot of people were mad when they took Brandon Graham because they wanted Earl Thomas. Earl Thomas was on the board. Eagle fans wanted Earl Thomas, the safety that went to the Seahawks. We didn't want Brandon Graham out of Michigan. And then he struggled his first year. Not struggle, but the Brandon Graham story is so beautiful. And it should be a lesson to anybody who struggles the first 2-3 years of your career that this is not your story hasn't been fully written unless you're a Jalen Reagor. Vic had a cannon. Facts. Jamie said, my family loves the Cowboys, but I choose Vic and the Eagles. That is some tough shit right there. For you to grow up in the Cowboy family and be able to shut off that ugliness and join the real America's team, that's power. F said, I need a Jalen Hurts jersey. I do have the Love Hurts sweatshirt. Okay. At least you got something rocking them. I also have a Carson Wentz jersey. So do I. That shit real deep in the closet. You know what other jersey's going deep in the closet now too? My black AJ Brown. Sight now, we not crying over that. We not crying over spilt milk. It's over with. Hey, Tiffany got 3 jerseys out of 1. She turned her Carson Wentz into an A.J. Brown. Now the A.J. Brown into Jahad Campbell. I ain't mad at it. I don't got Campbell's, but maybe I do now. We gonna just block it out, stitch it up, you know what I'm saying? Turn it into Jihad Campbell. Because he's gonna have a big season. The Big Ten rapper said I got Nandi way in the back. Get him out of here. Man, was I so hyped for Nandi Asawa coming from the Raiders to the Eagles, the supposed dream team. Sheesh, where we booty juice. I never got a Nandi Asawa jersey, though, thank the Lord. I'm mad at I don't have no Lido Shepherds and Sheldon Browns, though. Texan Eagle fan said, try being an Eagle fan in Dallas, the 90s, while the Cowgirls were winning Super Bowls. I was still talking crazy. A shout out to you, man. And again, I was a young kid in the 90s. But if I was 10 years older and I was 45 instead of 35, being a teenager or being a teenager while they were winning Super Bowls would have been rough. Especially if I was in a heart of enemy territory. Jinx said my dad is a Cowboy fan and my mom is an Eagle fan. My mom made me an Eagle fan. This Thanksgiving is going to be lit. Woo! House divided. House divided. But you know I'm rocking with Jinx and the mom on this one. I rock with the dad during the week. You know, that's what I would do. Dad, we cool. Just not on Sundays. And in this case, not on Thanksgiving. I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I can officially live with somebody who, like, I don't know. That'd be rough. I mean, it's family, so we make it work, but Lord have mercy. Like, even if someone in my household was just like a different team, it's cool, but Cowboys, that gets the blood boiling. Sheesh. Shout out to everybody who does it. Amen. Fine Wine Fletch said, bro, everybody argued me down about BG. I was willing to die on that hill that he was going to be one of them. They told me he would be a bust. Hey, Fine Wine, if that is the case, that's a big time snipe because, again, everybody wanted Earl Thomas and BG struggled early on. But anybody who held faith, that just should show you that, you know, you got to hold faith sometimes. But BG story is just one of them ones. It's not saying there's going to be multiple BG stories, though, like that. It ain't easy to repeat. Peter Riley said, Philly Mike, we need to get GOAT talk. Yes, we do. I'm going to have to hit up LB. My phone just died, but I'm going to text LB later today and be like, let's set up the GOAT talk streams. Let's get him where we can get back doing it weekly. Weekly GOAT talk. That will pay dividends throughout the season. Where did I leave off at? Melvin says, shout out to Philly Mike and the Philly Talk Show, watching from New Mexico. Go Birds. Melvin Chandler, 2802. Shout out to New Mexico, and it's always Go Birds. We've been live for an hour and 13 minutes. And again, it's the end of the live stream. That's why we've been really chopping it up in terms of what jerseys have we had and all that. But again, if you are just getting in here for the first 30 minutes, it's all about training camp. Actually, the first 45 minutes is all about training camp. Today, and some of the storylines that's been going on. And then it's just let's chop it up with the chat for the rest. I am going live Saturday. I will be live for the game. GOAT talk before the first game. I'm going to see if we can get something popping for Saturday early. I'm going to hit up LB and see if we can either get a GOAT talk podcast show. We can get a live stream. Me and LB live stream either tomorrow or early Saturday before the game. But if we do go before the game on Saturday, I'll be live with LB before the game and then go back live again during the game. I remember we got Stallworth. I was geeked. Stallworth, yes, receiver. And then he had to go through some stuff though, you know what I mean? And some charges. But I love y'all to death. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got 361 still in here. There's no reason why we shouldn't have 300 likes. Please do me a favor and hit that like button. It's free. It's easy. It don't cost a thing. Swipe over and hype up. Turn on the notification bell. Check. Click that bell. If it says, make sure it says all notifications. Y'all the real deal. Tiffany said, Mike, tell LB to unblock me. Oh, Lord, I definitely got to tell him. Where? On Twitter or on YouTube? Let me know. JXM Chris said, do we expect some snaps for the offensive starters, or is it going to be the same old, same old? I personally don't think the offense is going to play. So far, every time Nick Sirianni's asked it, he said, we'll see. I think we'll see some defensive starters because that's just who Vic is. But hopefully it's for the right. Hey, Dre. Hey, Dr. Jen in the building. What's going on? I'm going to tell him, Tiffany. Peter Riley said King James and Jaylen Brown will be rocking at the link this year. How about that? I'm going to love to see that. Once again, we've been live for an hour and 16 minutes. We talked a lot of Eagles stuff. One more time, hit the like on the way out. If you're just getting in here and you want to rewatch the first 30 minutes where it's all Eagle training camp, go ahead and do that. And until next time, y'all know what time it is. I don't think I know what time it is. Just kidding. We out.
This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking Sixers in the bird game, that's I like. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we scream and fly, Eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah.